With the age of sound fast approaching, let's take a look at a movie that takes the overwhelming scale of the early D.W. Griffith movies, the grand architecture of the Lon Chaney movies, and, I guess, the general revolutionary style of German Expressionism. Actually, that's a pretty good review of Metropolis right there. Time for lunch, I guess. Okay. Released in 1927, Metropolis follows the story of a social uprising in the science fiction urban dystopia of the title. The film was directed by Fritz Lang, who would later direct M, which I'll get around to someday. Based on a screenplay written by himself and his wife. At the time of its release, it was the most expensive film in history, costing around $16 million, adjusting for inflation. In an age when your average Hollywood blockbuster would cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, Metropolis still holds up very well for its use of practical effects and miniatures. Scenes of the giant skyscrapers separated by scattered freeways and biplanes making their way from place to place conjure a city that is real and very much alive. In the same way you feel this life and depth to the city, you can really feel the weight of it all pressing down upon the workers who live in the bowels of the urban sprawl. And the city truly is massive. Between the clever angles of miniatures and the immense sets of gardens and theatres perched atop a skyscraper, the street level of this city is a slum, and beneath the earth there are factories which keep the city alive. All this is brought to life in a way which brings you deeper into the world of Metropolis. The cinematography for the film is especially pioneering, as many occasions show layered and patchwork mixtures of various images to reflect the bustling busyness of the higher world. One scene showing a character's first venture into the land of the rich and powerful evokes the images of montage to show off wealth and splendour. In a similar vein to A Page of Madness, using the editing to give you a look inside the broken psyche of the characters, Metropolis uses it to show the wonder and amazement of characters surrounded by bright lights and loud costumes. While the majority of the costumes are the standard 1920s attire, the scenes in the laboratory during the creation of the robot Hell strike a tremendous balance between the magical imagery of the thief of Baghdad and the super serious science of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It is a brilliant balance of science and fiction, making the story feel both real and fun. But the design of the robot itself was so spot on that, for that reason alone, it is no wonder the film stands the test of time. Whether you are a fan of Star Wars or Mass Effect, science fiction has forever been reimagining itself, but paying homage to the iconic design. In either C-3PO or the physical manifestation of Edie, the roots of Metropolis and its design can still be found today. The first true awakening of Hell is a standout scene which demonstrates a lot about what works in the film and what helps it stand the test of time. You've got a team of set designers, a movable camera, and a rudimentary knowledge of the early 21st century's stretching frontier of special effects. How then do you adequately demonstrate the consciousness of a person being transformed into a metal body? The answer? Tighten up what you have to do with editing. Editing has always been a really important part of movie making, and it's so intrinsically important to making a film, it's only really notable when it's not done in a way that makes sense within the language of film itself. I think that the editing of particular scenes and movies on the whole is what has made a lot of the cinematic masterpieces of yesteryear really work when watched at a later date. The magic of movies is born in the minds of every creative person involved in the film. The magic of movies is nurtured in the editing room. It is perhaps this reason that Metropolis should be required viewing over everything else. While the story, themes, characters and music all hold up brilliantly, it is the iconic power of this silent epic which continues to resonate today, all because it came at such a powerful time in cinematic history. 5 out of 5 stars. Build shrines to it.